6 million ways to get trapped. Tread lightly. You won't make it through unscathed, even if you say your prayers nightly. Traps for every person, traps for every personality. I didn't know I was in a trap until I questioned my reality. Why is there so much suffering? What's the source of our discomfort? Why do I feel like a sleeping giant waking from its slumber? So I rose, I started searching as my curiosity returned. And the more I learned about the truth, the more my anger burned. See, our light has been constricted since the first religion birthed, and slavery's been imposed on every soul that walks this earth. Billions live in nightmares so that a few can have wet dreams, and all their shit, that smog and grit, comes trickling down in streams. Our freedom is an illusion, all our choices are predetermined. Our leaders claim to care, but in their eyes we're all just vermin. Thinking isn't taught in schools for fear of self-reliance. They'd rather you be helpless and then sell you a new appliance. The left and right is scripted, pre-constructed boxes. We act like a bunch of chickens and we just keep entrusting foxes. Hope, change, and bullshit. I fell for some of it too. Heard that old lip service, but I don't see nothing new. I see drones killing innocents and NSA expansion. Whistleblowers in prison, somebody pay this country's ransom. Primal fears exploited, so we beg for their protection. No matter which wing you lean on, this bird doesn't change direction. I see the media fueling racism, divide and conquer is the deal, and it's all just instigation. They won't let this country heal. I see psychopaths create order from manufactured chaos. Good men never become champions, they're too busy watching playoffs. Perpetual distractions so we don't recognize our ills. How can we ever reach enlightenment when we're just trying to pay our bills? How do things get so bad? Whatever happened to revolution? How do we get our sanity back when we're committed to institutions? The institution of money, the institution of control, tearing down the nuclear family so your children don't feel whole. A machine without a soul, a runaway train headed toward the black hole. It's a trap, can't you see it? Can't you see we're being played? Can't you see we'll never leave this cave until the beast is slayed? We're pit against each other, it's been happening for years. How could I never see this while I dried my mother's tears? A man and woman divided makes them weak and easily used. If they decide to raise some children, they'll be equally confused. We don't live inside a cage, but believe we are in prison. And in your mind, I'll bet you find that therein lies the schism. The left brain claims we're just materials colliding, while the right brain meditates on top of a mountain hiding. The ship plunges deeper into an evil vortex. Get out of the matrix, arise, wake up the neocortex. It's what it's going to take. How much do we have to lose before we challenge this reality and live the life we choose? Illuminate the darkness, don't turn your back on danger. Don't mimic the least among us and then call that human nature. We've got to raise our consciousness, unifying quick. We're poisoning this planet because the life she hosts is sick. Question what is power. This is a call to arms. We live in free-range slavery. Isn't it time to leave the farms?
Next will be Martin Joseph, followed by our feature, Gerardo Pacheco. Welcome, Martin.
Good evening, Sacred Grounds.
Good evening, Martin.
I'm going to take you back to Greenwich Village, 1971. That night in mid-January, it snowed on Washington Square. It was 2 o'clock and the streets were amber. There were no footprints in the snow, no tire tracks on McDougal Street from Bleecker Street to the Giant Arch. We walked and glide skated in sneakers to the blue Danube waltz. The field and the square turned a pale blue in their whiteness in contrast to the streets. Greenwich Village was deserted, but for my woman and me. Later I wrote this song about it called, this poem about it called World in White. Ice was made to skate upon this winter eve, using rubber shoes, not flashing blades, with our hearts upon our sleeves. Around, around we go again on slate too cold to touch, too hard to fall, too fast to fly, too thrilled to think too much. Over the ice in a spin-swept breeze, in a figurative swishty glide, though it lay below so deep and cold, we've mornings too many to hide. Old man Snow with a fiery glow can rage in his prison of time, but he'll have to wait by his wintry gate till we've drunken our summer's wine. Also Greenwich Village, 1971. Figaro the cat. Thelonious Monk over chess pieces made live by sunlight through the window pane. Two meows from Figaro the cat, who steps in from the fire escape as if this were her apartment. She sits her long, sleek, black sheen body down under the hanging lamp on the table like Buddha come to visit. She doesn't particularly concern herself with the chess pieces, at least not after they stop moving when she knocks them down. A rolling figure next to mine says, "Good morning, Martin." Her sleep half-closed eyes with contentment and warmth. She looks beautiful in the morning. "Good morning," I say.
Now please welcome our feature, Gerardo Pacheco.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
Better use the mic.
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Use the mic because you're going to be on the podcast.
If this, can you guys hear me now? Still not?
Yeah, good enough.
So I'm gonna read a poem. First of all, I want to say thank you for Sacred Grounds for inviting me again to be a feature. And so I'm gonna start with a poem which I title Las Cuarentenas. Las Cuarentenas is a quarantine. So it's just a word in Spanish. Las Cuarentenas. Grandma's potion to protect us from rabies was to eat a whole green lime with skin and seeds for 40 days. Grandma called this remedy la cuarentena. You then kids should swallow whole garlic clove too and pray to God that them puppy hasn't died. Grandma say, you shouldn't complain or also make you eat a whole lot more. This is what you get chamacos for playing with the damn puppy. God only knows you shouldn't play with stray dogs. Grandma didn't know the puppy died that morning when the trade dismembered the little thing. So me and my brother had to endure a whole cuarentena, the ordeal of 40 days of eating lime and garlic. I remember las cuarentenas, especially when mother was cooped up in her room, breathing in the smell of alcohol and camphor, healing her body and resting after long hours of labor. I remember that on the third day, father and his brothers lowered the slowly little caskets tied with strings down into the earth womb. Mother would clench on my hands as the old women chanted prayers to God. I remember the fresh smell of root plants, flowers, and burning candles, and the dry smell of rain that never fell over father's fields. I remember the stubborn corn seeds that never grew out of this earth, and if they did, they'll shrink to dust as soon as they feel the sun's heat. La cuarentena, 40 days of resting, of praying, of crying, of mourning, of eating lime and swallowing garden cloves. 40 broken jars, honey bottles, perfume bottles, resting like Asian idols on their mother's hammock. A mother swinging on her hammock with one foot on the floor, pushing herself forward, caged inside of a room under a dark cloud. I remember Grandma's cuarentena carrying her tiny bones and lime across town to make sure we didn't die of hunger or rabies. Babies and smiles. I remember our house growing quieter every time La cuarentena began. A mother had to endure every single day the memory of her lost babies. So that's my first one. So, Grandpa's ranch. There under the giant ceiba tree, my grandfather, my grandmother, my brothers, and my father are waiting for me, chewing on dry roots to ease an eternal hunger that hurts the dead. I imagine them sitting under the cool shade of growing old. I imagine them sitting under the cool shade, growing old and talking about me. a shadow of a dying man. Who is this man who's thinking about us? Who is this man who doesn't allow us to rest in peace? Who is this man who plucks words from the wind? They might ponder as their jaws stop chewing, or whenever their bellies are stuffed with the smashed roots, or whenever they take a break to spit on the black dirt. My grandmother will say, he is a wild child, an untamed creature that came from the woods. I can smell his stench of ash and dirt. I knew him once as a child of the grasses. He is cursed with the sickness of seeing the dead. Father will say, everything is nonsense. He is my son, flesh of my flesh. Father will embrace me and happiness will flood his old dry heart for the first time in a long, long time. It is true, I can see the dead. I'm your son, your grandchild, I'm dead. I have come to stay for good in this limbo we all call death. I'll grow older here until I disappear like a handful of dust in the wind. Things we learn in the border. We learn to speak like Mexicanos, to dodge bullets, to hide from La Migra, to close our eyes when a coyote takes the young girls behind the bushes. We learn to ignore, to hold on tight on our siblings' hands for dear life, to be afraid of los federales, to ride la bestia de bestias. We learn to be hungry, to count the long days lost in the desert, to hate our brown skin, to hope we will cross the border. We learn to hate the metal wall, to hate los coyotes, to love our parents, to love freedom, to pray. We learn not to cry, not to drown in el Rio Bravo, not to fall behind, not to love el desierto, not to say you are Centroamericano. So this is another poem of just trying to figure out where people come from. You don't belong to this land. An old lady told me once a long time ago, you don't belong to this place, you don't belong to this piece of land until you bury someone you dearly love in it. You cannot call this place home until you build a church to mourn your dead. You see the grassland? The old lady pointed to the land where my eyes couldn't reach. But it is empty. No crosses, no burial stones, no windmills, no horse stables, no pigsties or chicken coops. Not a welcome home sign. Not even a scarecrow you can claim as yours. You don't belong to this land. Nothing belongs to you here. This is not your home, not until you spread roots deep into this earth. I promise the wind. I promise the wind I'll keep on rolling down the road until I find a home between these rocks. I promise I'll spread strong roots deep into this dry earth. And when the last days arrive, I promise not even the fire will defeat my kind. I'll stand strong between these rocks. I'll see my kind bloom free and strong. Pondering over my existence. I only have one job in this galaxy of broken stars and dark holes. I shall let the wings spread out my seeds all over this world. I must conquer it all. I shall allow the sun and the water to make me strong. I shall colonize gardens and fields with my kind. I shall spread my roots all over the world. I must procreate life. Another dying Another poem about the desert. Dying in the desert. Dying in the desert is a cold drift that hits you in the chest. A dry smell of bones caged in a cave. A loud scream hiding behind the bushes. A man begging for his children's life. An injured chacal begging to be shot. A mother weeping for an unborn child. A dry hole full of leaves and dust. Dying in the desert means a man stumbling over broken twigs ready to die. Old country field. I'm going through an old country field. The field belongs to someone old who piles giant stones in each corner to prevent thieves from stealing corn. There are no horses or cows grazing on this field. Only those damn crows that crackle and rattle as I move through this world of dry sticks. These damn crows have feasted upon the black corn no one wants anymore. I'm looking for an old road that can lead me to an old barn. I walk through a carpet of dry husk as I follow the sutures of this earth. I push the long dry corn stalks and they bend and snap like chicken bones. I think about Father and how much he loved to plow his fields. I stumble over rocks and half-burned tree stumps. I curse and spit at the old man or whoever forgot to clean this field. Father never allowed rocks or tree stumps to sprout in his fields. Father knew how to plow his fields. I know the harvest season is a sad memory that coils its long rattles inside of a drying corn husk, waiting for the green blades to sprout. I imagine myself reaching the end of this field and looking back and wondering if Father knew a cornfield has no end. The Lord's might. I just want to say that this poem is actually, I was thinking a lot about, religion, so I come up with this. The Lord's might. Dear Master, even the Lord smites his own children to allow a few to grow strong. Someone should propagate good seeds in my garden, the Lord says. The Lord has mightened a few of my kind to allow the nice flowers to sprout. This earth shall appeal to those who know about beauty, the Lord says. Therefore the Lord shall pluck more of my tribe to make this land appealing. A world of grass. We crawl out of this earth to taste the cool wind with our dry tongues. We are the stubborn kind. We refuse to die. To go away is not an option. To give up this dry land, this piece of the universe called desert, is unheard of. Not even the fire can destroy my kind. My proof is the green shoots sprouting once the fire ceases. We thrive with the droughts, and the rain water only gives us a means to go on thriving here. We push hard our roots deep into this earth to defeat any other weeds. We defeat stone after stone. We claim this dry land as ours. We fill the light with our yellow leaves. We breathe the wind. The desert is not a place we can lay to rest in peace. We must bloom and thrive here. At the beginning, I was dust, a seed, a flower, a simple dry stone. I had a mouth, I sang a song of dry grass. I was crumbling dirt. I reeked of ash and dirt. I belonged to the fire tribe. I spoke the language of droughts. I was a piece of burnt meat. I was a bullet shrapnel lodged in a coyote's hind legs. I was the wing in the arroyo that played the dry leaves. I was the sun in a desert. I was a child. I was dry grass. I burned tumbleweeds. I grew roots. I prospered. I was the child of the grasses. I am the desert. I'm a cactus flower. I'm needles, thorns, pain. I'm a moth growing wings amongst the dry blades of grass. I'm ready to taste the wind with my red and yellow wings. I'm a white pebble on the road, a seed in the desert, a charred armadillo's shell. I'm a rattlesnake. I'm a gust of wind. I am witch grass growing old and tired. I'm cactus roots searching for water. I'm the desert. I'm free. So I was thinking about what is my role as a poet, I guess, and I come up with this. The old crows know I'm a poeta. I'm a man. I pluck words from the wind to stuff my pillowcases. I sleep in the desert alone over the dry grass with no pistols or knives in order not to hurt myself or others. I cross my arms over my chest to protect my heart. My bones shiver cold at night. I watch the sky as the coyotes sniff my old bones. I watch the falling stars. I spit on the sand, and as I ask for a wish to come true, I belong to the desert. Exodus. It doesn't matter if I leave. No one cares if I go on, rolling down the road like a lost soul. From old town to new town, from burnt fields to sow fields. No one cares. I'm looking for the promised land, a place I can call home. It doesn't matter. Wherever I go, everything is the same. The weeds and the grass grow out of this dried earth with such tenacity and will, only to be called a pest. Nothing changes anymore, not even the crows that sprout from these dry lands like seeds to remind me life must go on. I claim the desert as my eternal home. Weeds. I sprout out of this dried earth only to witness a new drought, a new burning, and the endless skies converge with the sun. I endured the longest drought. I witnessed this earth dried up and become a dry pond. The sun and the earth promised me, my kind will thrive here amongst the rocks. The wind bends us sideways and our seeds spread all over until the fire burns everything. I thrive in a world where 100 of my siblings stand by me yearning for water. The world is a giant drying mirror. Our seeds are left scattered, half burned, ready to sprout and become a new generation of weeds. I'm a poeta, creador, rey, mago. Basically says I'm a poet, a creator, a king, and a magician. I claim the desert as my home. I claim this cacti world as mine. The old bones turning to dust and the old saguaro tree belong to me. The wooden crosses without names are part of my kingdom. Every single shallow grave belongs to me. Every single forgotten corpse is mine. I claim all of the undocumented men, women, and children left behind as part of my kingdom. I claim all of the dry bones and all of the pain that lives between the rocks as mine. I claim the meadow wall as mine. I claim the rape tree that bloomed behind the meadow wall as part of my kingdom. I claim all of the pain, all of the tears, all of the prayers as mine. I claim la mujer vieja who weeps in the arroyo as mine. I claim all of the unknown, the sick, the old, the young, the crippled, and the innocent as mine. I claim the dry waterfalls, the dull fields, and the dead cows of mine. I claim water as my queen. Thirst is my sin. I'm a poeta, creador, mago y rey. And the last poem I want to dedicate is the poem. I will dedicate it to Nancy because I promise I will say something about crossplay. A lonely crow will devour itself before ever having felt sorry for itself. Thank you so much for listening.
That was wonderful. Let's give another hand to Gerardo. So now we'll have a 10-minute break, and after that we'll come back with Greg Pond will MC the last half of the reading. So support our hosts, talk amongst yourselves, and just schmoo.
You leaving? Good luck to you. I'll see you next time I come out here.
Come back. Thank you.
I'll see you.
Randy.
Thank you. You told me, Mom. They must be young.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If anyone else hasn't signed up, wants to sign up, now's the time. The sign up sheet's back there.
Thank you.
Are you gonna read?
Still going? Just
Oh, okay. Great.
That was my,
Yeah.
I'm tired of, how are you?
Right.
So,
Good to see you. The name is memorable.
yeah, that's okay.
Poetry is well.
I'm exploring, you know, that whole
Oh, great.
the I am.
Oh, what morning? 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you say what you need to say. Oh, great,
That actually came out of,
How are you doing?
Hello, Fran. How are you? Thinking about
My name is Mike. Make sure I hear the words.
Great. I love that. Very exciting and inspirational.
Right on. Have a good one.
Yes, you'll send.
Great.
Going around.
And you automatically with your arm. Like when you see the oil, that's really
Oh, right. Right.
No. Some of the words, I didn't know some of the words. I got, they were right words for whatever.
I was thinking about that.
I guess,
Very
nice.
I like it. It shows, it doesn't.
Well, yeah, what I was gonna do for my spoken word. I missed trying to respond.
Yeah, finally,
Yeah, because at the time it's like.
Right. But anyway.
Luca told me, he said, White was out.
How far are we from here?
He's really inspired. Said he's just in
Probably, I don't know.
I learned I've been there one time.
He would come to the studio and I'd
Now, we are today. It's like, bridge, I got to go all the way to the left. You guys might have to anticipated that.
Yeah, I remember.
So you read it tonight?
Yeah.
I always think I'm the
So is your.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure like we're gonna catch it.
Oh, okay.
Have you met him?
I've he read before. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I tried.
Yeah, I know.
And I know we have other guys. You're going to take Right. No.
Yeah.
very raw guy.
I have a story about the Chronicle. I'd like to see an opening game. And Jerry got to do
That guy with the hat on.
No, it sounds terrible. The next day, her game,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, you did right.
I used to work here in the 1960s. And then I did go back to 1985. And then I stayed.
Still here, I guess.
So you were.
Yeah, I was in.
I just got back from you. I was there for 2 months this year. Yeah.
So where did you work there?
No, I was visiting friends. I've spent a lot of time in Europe, and I had worked there in the past. So I was visiting friends and went to a couple of neat places.
No, not
Where?
Portugal?
Yeah.
Because I've only been there on a staff level.
Yeah. Did you get to see it or sit down? You got to see
Wonderful. I went to Portugal.
But one of the best things we did
Heritage sites.
and he couldn't do anything. So he sat right across the room. Then we came out.
Oh, yeah. I went to the Teatro San Carlos. Wonderful. June?
Yeah. So it's happy fall.
They need to do it in the fall.
It
was an awesome
Give it all answers.
Call it.
That was the only time I ever had everything sensitive. Nobody's justified. That was it. That was the only. Isn't it bitter?
What's your favorite?
Loading his anger for a fellowship.
My track record shows.
Probably margarine.
As long as I can wear a cast at the same time.
Oh, they call it margarine.
Yeah.
The motivation.
Oh, when it's the camera. Was it good? I was actually writing an old.
I did a lot of
Totally.
that.
Well, you can see also where they look at the face. She didn't really like my face though.
Oh, did you bring me?
I heard that. Oh, yeah. Where's that? But something like yeah, but that reflects the song though. Reflects the song. You see the song like that.
You know what?
So what?
Yeah, you wouldn't sing it like
Oh,
Totally
so
Wired.
that probably was
Totally
another.
Wired. You would never sing it like that.
It'll bubble back.
Except the tree song you know.
Oh, I would reach over. I was talking about his podcast.
And you'll go, the scene
Well, no, the song itself.
One of the most gracious
Delivers the vocal very
She was the host here for a long time. And she and I went back to
The picture looks
So he had to
looks like Joe
rewrite
Sutherland.
the whole thing.
word.
It looks like Joe Sutherland.
I need a more attitude like song.
Come back and sing.
I agree.
Yeah, she was a writer and she was the host here.
You don't have picture now?
I mean,
She died.
Yeah, sure, for about
I mean,
another
yeah.
She looks so young in the picture.
for about another week and a half.
Just recently, a couple years ago.
Very young in the picture. How old
Yes.
was she?
because it resonates in you somewhere.
Yeah.
Picture
It
was
just
just
song
so
goes back. Yeah. It's like this, who memorized.
Of course, I don't know who you're
I've got
pointing
it
to,
here.
Clay. I'm assuming.
Oh, you're coming back to read, right?
The one above her, she was there. That
She was a
was-
lot older than she was.
And that's great.
Ready? My first, reading everything wasn't something to say. That's a little funny.
I'm ready.
I tried to memorize it. Ready to That's a little bit now.
So enjoy.
That was
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of Sacred Grounds Open Mic. And we have a few poets coming up. We've got Ed MyQ, Nancy, Yamahiro, Zach. I'll read a little bit. Mark Blanchard, Richard Morris, Karen Melinda Magoon, Step, and our mini feature, Sai.
Yay, Sai.
All right. It looks like we have one more poet who just walked in.
Oh, there's Claire.
Oh.
Claire,
Well,
I
anyway.
your email.
Good to see you, Clara. Okay, so we'll start a second half off with our first poet of the second half, and that will be Ed MyQ.
I'll just read some of this because this is a six-part poem called A Fight for Air, but I'll read a few pieces. The first part is called A Fight for Air. Towels soaked in the sink, roots crack, splinter. Each sounds a stone screaming, successive millions of mute islands, a secret care I keep folded under my fingernail dawn after dawn. The thrill is uneven, the saliva curdles, sunset climbs closely to the fight for air. Little lifetimes. Children crush crackers between stones, celebrating luck and joy, seeing with ears, breathing music from trees, flowering in pure deliciousness, awakening graves unarmed against the rain. In time, silence, stoning sterile trees, praying the dead will sleep between the swollen roots. The wind rushes in, saying, hold my crown. Carve your own road, the design that develops. Now a face begins to emerge, seeking air, examining death, to discover patterns in the movements of little lifetimes. Those are two of them. And this is something sort of free form, perhaps. Thinking or coloring or writing outside the line. It's called Swamp Box Type Inventions and Ionizers. Our mini Echo air cooler, Swamp Box, we used to call it in the dry lands, now has an ionizer to improve air quality by charging air particles with a negative charge, attracting dirty particles, dander, dust, pollen, cigarette smoke, until they get so heavy that they simply fall to the ground. Better air with your cooler air. Apply this to literature, to story, to lyric, to the written word of any kind, so some ideas fall down to the floor being negatively charged. Consider the value of swamp boxes applied to dumb ideas, something of an ionizer to sort and edit. I should probably consider the assumption that an ionizer isn't just some loony scam invention without researching it. My old co-worker Jeannie Lopez used to counsel against assuming. Ask out of us, out of you. Ask you me. That's because I, and she too, would just charge out of the gate without without doing anything, because we thought everything was so damn boring, and so we wouldn't do our cogitation. We both would get in more trouble and get egg on our faces. I thought of that after we bought our swamp cooler. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And next up, Nancy Yamahiro. Welcome back.
I know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
No.
You can't?
Yes, now.
I'll try and talk louder. I have 3 short poems. The first is called A Fire in the Belly, for a friend of mine who fancies himself an intellectual. The intellectual showed there's a fire in the belly, that a passing exchange can bring a benediction. There is a spirit that can feed the reason mind, transforming a thoughtful recitation into a moment of grace. This is solitude. Circling around to a time of solitude, time running, overlapping, cosmically juxtaposing one reality over another. Life refracts, crosses over to somewhere. There is deja vu, those dreams that you can't shake, that split you open, draw you through to an alternate existence, where possibilities are the reality and your inner desires manifest brilliantly, publicly, exhibited under a spotlight out from the hidden recesses. Drawn back through the wormhole to a time of quiet retreat, living in the shadows, to recharge, regroup, lick one's wounds and assess, to form the vision, to listen to the heartbeat, to hear the rhythm, to chant the mantra, to feel the swell of the next rising, and to ride the wave as it comes around again. And my last poem is one that I wrote to my friend Gerardo Pacheco after I heard him read for the first time. It's called The Last Memory. He asked, what would be my last memory before I die? He answered as a bird in flight, a blackbird. His words fluttered up, took to the air, drew the eye of those listening upwards, seeing through the bird's eye, into the soul. No darkness there in the heart of the blackbird, only light and magic. He shared a vision soft and sweet, a flight of happiness, no constraints, defying gravity, lifting us all heavenward.
Thank you, Nancy. Very nice. Okay, next up, is Zach still here? I was here earlier. He's maybe gone. Okay. Well, next up by Mark Blanchard. Okay. Have you been here before, Mark?
No, I'll do it here, don't worry.
I'm sorry?
I'll do it here.
Yeah. Have you been here before?
I've been here before, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, I know the drill.
All right.
It just sounds like I haven't been here before.
There's something that fell. There's something that fell on the floor there.
Okay.
Now, your way.
Okay, I'm just going to do one song. It's about an artist who believes that beauty is a bourgeois concept, and it's called Beauty Does Not Exist. It's an old song I wrote. I wrote the tune a long time ago, but the lyrics I hated and revised them recently. Beauty does not exist. I crossed it right off my list. A weakness I overcame. I got my emotions tamed. Love's a distraction that I cannot afford. An artist must seek isolation. Don't need a mistress with bohemian ways to serve as my cheap inspiration. My work is red with rage and black with hopelessness. I see the world from just one viewpoint, staring straight down into the abyss. To this gate, through great pain. Beauty does not exist. It's only a bourgeois myth, a fantasy they devised to keep us all stupefied. Nature's a cliche that have come to bore a poor man's creative compulsion. The simpering sunsets and the fanciful flowers, they fill me with waves of revulsion. I use my brush just like a scalpel to peel away the endless layers of deception that confront me each and every day. Heed my creed. Art must bleed. I've seen the moment when two trembling lovers kiss, seen the ocean's endless blueness, seen the rainbow come to decorate the sky. It's all right.
Thank you.
Alright. Okay, thank you very much. I think I will share a couple of poems with you. Okay, this one is entitled A Moment to Remember in a Sun-Flooded Room. This day, open and craving activity, needing movement to make its statement. This day, simple and seeking tranquility, hushing silence as stillness remains. This day, ready and willing to embrace a mixed tray of human deeds and divine peace. This day, another chance to engage the spiritual and mundane in the best of ways. Come and go what may, east and west of June. Just a moment to remember in a sun-flooded room. I think I'll share this with you. This is not one of mine. It was written by a poet named Robert Lax. And it's from a collection called Circus Days and Nights. They like to slumber late, the acrobats. They like to slumber late, the acrobats. They sleep and do not know the sun is up, nor does the Lord wake them, nor do the sun's rays touch them. And the Lord who has chosen them, the Lord who created them, leaves them in slumber until it is time. Slowly, slowly his hand upon the morning's lyre makes some music in their sleeping, and they turn, and turning wonder, eyes awake to light of morning. They rise, dismounting from their beds. They rise and hear the light airs playing songs of praise unto the Lord. The circus is a song of praise unto the Lord. The acrobats, his chosen people, rejoice forever in his love. And I think I should one more. This one is called Time is Running Out. Time is running out. Every tick of the clock is another second lost with so much left to prove. I'm not sure where we're going from here, or if we even know what to do. Will we ever come together to move our agenda? Do we throw our hands up to the man and simply surrender? Or should we retrace every step our ancestors had to take from January to December? Time drips like a leaky faucet now. Every drop another trickle, another quarter, dime, or nickel spent, trying to tie together the loose ends of things we no longer remember when we seem to have forgotten the lessons from our elders back then. They held us strong and tender before we got displaced. It's never going to get much better if we don't take time to get our shit together. We don't have forever, not a moment left for doubt. The hour is getting late. Our time is running out. Thank you. And I see we have Zach in the house, and Zach, you're up.
Oh, I'm up?
Yep.
You got my book.
Zach is getting his book. I just want to let you know we have a few prizes here that we give away at the end, and we just do a random choosing. And we have a Mozart CD, we have a World Wildlife book, a National Geographic magazine, TV Facts and Trivia, Cat in the Dark, a book entitled We Don't Die, American Archaeology, and a few other things. So anyway, Zach is up. Let's give him a hand.
The greatest things of life are because of their relationship to the worst. To be too close to prosperity is to hurt. The ocean's whisper to traveling ears is Poseidon's mermaid, song of the tide ever changing its harmonies with each brush of the shore. To a beach house, the ocean's course is static, a running water faucet, and nothing more. A city is brilliant invention, neon culture, decadence, sprawling in precision, a light circus hive of momentum, communications of drama. It is the human play of finales. Though to its dweller it is a tomb, suffocation of debris and chaos. It is inertia's impossibility. So too is love, an eclipse of the mundane by miraculous companionship. Distance regulating the dance, pulsing lonely intervals into the vein of exuberance, revitalizing charm and prosperity, a reflection of serendipity by the surface of undertones. And I was thinking of doing a rap. I have an Edward Snowden rap I don't think I've done here before. And I have have a verse about Occupy that I wrote recently. Any preference from the audience?
Snowden.
Snowden, all right. Cool, that's great, because I don't get enough people that are, I feel like it'd be a good spot here because you guys are really educated, you follow the news. I never follow, I mean, sometimes. The NSA, tapping your cable modem, or Panopticon laptops and every page you open. 1984 is here, they're hunting for Edward Snowden, capital T-H-E-Y, to put a scalpel on his scrotum. I feel like I'm living in Gattaca, and every apartment is a cell in Attica. Better move to Africa if I want some privacy, like Michael Jackson. Feel somebody is watching me. Need some privacy, keep logging my browser history. Kink.com ain't no probing fisting, it's no mystery. I need some therapy, I'm getting it today. 2 Girls in 1 Cup got over 1 million plays, so don't tell me you wanna put it on blast. If you ain't got nothing to hide, scroll downtown with your bare ass in the wind. I never thought freedom would be this anti-American. Hear that whistle blow, hear that whistle blow, like a train on freedom's road. Let's hear it for Edward Snowden. Hear that whistle blow, hear that whistle blow, like a train on freedom's road. Let's hear it for Edward Snowden. Visa is bigger than Fort Knox. It's sinister. Global trade can't happen without what they administer across nation boundaries. Immune to the laws, economics rule over us like an invisible god. They say cash is king because we addicted to magic. Interests combine with a cold swipe and a plastic. All your digits are traced to a server database hacked by CIA operatives. Our identities erased. Microsoft, Apple, and Google all get paid large sums for their compliance in this sickness charade, while their PR peeps be lying to our face. One nation under CCTV, the surveillance state. Hear that whistle blow, hear that whistle blow, like a train on freedom's road. Let's hear it for Edward Snowden. Hear that whistle blow, hear that whistle blow, like a train on freedom's road. Let's hear it for Edward Snowden. A wiki leaking the whole of secrecy and control. The most wanted man alive for the documents he stole from the government, serving the public. Abuse is exposed because his conscience got the best of him. Call him a criminal, but he's a hero, a hero. If I ever heard of one, deserved a Nobel Prize. Not an FBI manhunt, but they call him a terrorist. Give him 30 to life. Well, if they call you a terrorist, you might be doing something right. Hear that whistle blow, hear that whistle blow, like a train on freedom's road. Let's give it up for Edward Snowden.
Thank you, Zach. That was refreshing. Okay, our next poet is Richard Morris. Richard Morris, and first time poet, so we're going to give him a good sacred ground welcome.
And you're from Phoenix.
Phoenix house.
I had a good friend from Phoenix that I think comes here a lot when she's in town, told me about this place, so I thought I'd check it out. And I've really enjoyed it so far. So. It rained on Valentine's Day. Clouds black, darkening blue sky. I almost thought of it. 2 months have come and gone, but your presence is still soaked into the carpet. I tried to vacuum again, but the filter lets no air through. There is too much of you trapped in its fibers, so I scrub it clean, but you just clog my drains. More chemicals to wash you away. More bleach to wash the chemicals. More soap to wash the bleach, and more water to rinse the soap, and more water to rinse the sink, and more water to rinse, hoping to pull you from my skin, but I never can win this battle. There is always the rattle of your tail, you snake. Your venom must be what keeps me awake. I tried to pull away, but your fangs seem ready to break, and I do not need any more of you stuck in my veins, you snake. Get away from here. I claw at my neck and scratch until I see red. I dig at my chest and pull until I see red. Fists clenched, the red is dripping from my palms. I need more bleach to wash the stains. More bleach, more white, more water, more spite. There is too much of you still here. I try to drown it out, but it is all I can hear. I try to drown you out, but you are all I can hear. It's like there are fingernails scratching inside of my ears, and the drum beats louder the more space that I clear. Your shadow left an imprint on the bathroom wall. The tiles are the color of your skin. I do not take cold showers anymore. This flesh that covers my bones has grown too thin. I almost thought of you again today. I have run out of bleach. Your perfume will not come out of my sheets. There is not enough time left to clean. There's not enough time. So I fall asleep, wrapped in a memory of you, unable to find a face or name to a ghost that I cannot help but blame. It rained on Valentine's Day. Clouds black, darkening blue sky. Thought of you. This next poem is entitled Code C. I work in an emergency room, and this is a story about something that happened while I was there. The morning after, I sat on the beach trying to teach myself how to breathe again. The waters rhythmically drifting in, swell, break, coast, retreat. This is nature's meditation. My bare feet were dug into the sand, just outside of reach from the ocean's icy hand, so I would not have to feel the waves wash across my skin like she must have. Swell, break, coast, retreat. Swell, break, coast, retreat. A balance she lost. This child, whose body embodied the waves of an ocean hidden in her irides. Her mother never heard the earthquake in her daughter's chest, only felt the tremors in her own bones, the sound of fingernails scratching at her dreams, an echo of a drumbeat growing distant over a frantic 911 call. An emergency room will grow silent when the patch of a pediatric code comes in over the radio, followed by the sounds of footsteps gathering in a room with too many heartbeats, but still one too few, like the night before, when the tsunami of a child flooded our small corner of Phoenix, Arizona, leaving panic like ocean. We never felt the aftershocks, only stood witness to the towering waves of a girl whose skin had been painted blue, a shadow of her eyes. She was only 2 years old then, did not belong lying on this stretcher, limp like ejected seaweed in the torrents of her storm. This child, all slack wrist and empty stare, we kept pleading through CPR that she would start breathing, but the ocean had found a new home in the aftermath of unsteady stone. In a chest with too much swell, after too much retreat, this erratic wave crashing towards defeat as nurses traced the currents beneath her skin to find the heartbeat drowning within. Swell, break, collide, release. Sometimes death is too strong an opponent. I sat in silence long enough to watch a plastic bag float out to sea before the tide washed across my feet. The cold caused a reflexed, deep breath. Swell, break, coast, retreat. Swell, break, coast, and breathe. Thank you.
Please come back. Karen Melander Lagoon is up next.
Hi, well, these two poems I actually wrote last year, and I was just saddened by the fact that they are so contemporary. Columbus Street, San Francisco. I walked down Columbus Street in North Beach, San Francisco, observing the same jacket modeled on its stand, stitches riding across the lapel. a Chinese tailor shop dating back to 1948, when Israel evicted the Palestinians from 5,000 square miles of Palestine, taken away from them by the United Nations. Not that there is a stitch of relevance or a thimble of accuracy to that observation. And yet time stands still at the tailor shop, just as next door or 2 doors down, the shop with famous coffee shows the same display I saw in 1995. Perhaps it was the same in 1948 when I was 5 years old. I will be 70 this year, and Palestine has lost its land. Its people are besieged and exploited by Israel's giant friend, the United States. The tailor shop still stands on Columbus. Coffee is produced 2 doors down, merely a drop in the global history of exploitation. Giants far off across the world at the expense of their peoples. Factories burn or implode in Bangladesh or any poor country, scrambling to serve the imperialist dollar by exploiting those with no power. Powerful nations hold their own citizens or immigrants hostage to crumbs of pennies not sufficient to bake a loaf of treasure sufficient to feed their families. Is there no end to injustice? Wealth breeds more wealth, devouring the larvae of poverty to nurture itself. And yet, the butterfly remains free. Nonviolence. Nonviolence brings fewer casualties than violence. They, the amorphous they, wants to prove this with statistics. Bombs dropped by remote-controlled drones bring fewer casualties to American soldiers than bombs dropped by live, non-remote soldiers. Civilians, children who are not Americans, die daily, are in terror daily. They are non-violent. They watch the sky daily for drones. Nonviolence brings fewer casualty than violence. Those are not my words. They are a quotation from somewhere. Unarmed children die in schools and homes, killed by nations with weapons, killed for no reason. Children without weapons die in schools, shot by children with weapons who have been abused by violence. The violence of neglect, the violence of silence, the violence of betrayal, the violence of watching children somewhere else, watching drones, watching planes, threatening violence from azure blue skies.
Thank you, Karen. And next up is Step. Is Step here? Step, you are up next.
Hi, I'm Steph. You're generally featured host of the Step and Chan Show, which I am invested in largely as, in order to avoid getting towed in San Francisco at this stage of the game, I am driving a shopping cart, and it works really well. I haven't gotten towed. Things get, anyhow, it's an progression or a regression, depending on your point of view. Less carbon footprint, imprint is cool with me. However, I want to make my mark in life. Decided to try and recreate me again, so I'm going to play the keyboard tonight instead of the guitar. No, wait, I'm going to play my new guitar, which I got in a new box store called Guitar Center. I want to avoid that. I have to go to Starbucks because in the middle of the night there's no place left to go get coffee but Starbucks. How else are you gonna get the creative juices flowing? I'm kind of nihilistic. I'm a doomer. Alright, just to go back to remind you, my poem goes like this. I was born in 1960. The first episode we're honored to watch TV is called We Killed Your President. People don't think of this country as having had a bloody coup d'etat. Bloody coup d'etat, that means we cut off your head. Now who ran the country up at the time of the Kennedy assassination? But J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI, and New Kenneth were sleeping with, besides their wives, information runs things. Now then you have your George Bush Senior-ish guy. Remember, his dad was dealing with Bin Laden family as carpenters in the Middle East for a while. And he rose from the ocean after drawing a 6-gun away from his temple, seeing that there was a U.S. submarine, and took one of the, how does it work? One of the 2 parachutes there were left for 3 people on board of that plane, end up in the drink, got rescued, rose to the ranks of information that is CIA, and George Bush became the leader of the last superpower. Now we have recently, this is where the poem gets dicey, the renewal of the Cold War, as if we don't have enough going on. This is why my political guru, Mike Rupert, he knew what to do. But he knew, he's Wade, the man who knew too much. He's the man who knew too much, Mike Rupert. And so, closed the school, and I tried to reopen the John Brown Institute for Journalism Investigative Thinking, and my family abandons me and my friends abandon me because it's very, very squirrely to see what I stand for in a way. Mike Rupert, when he became a cop, man, I invested so much in the guitar, and it's poetry night, so Mike Rupert, you know, when he was 5 years old, if his dad's papers fell off the desk, he needed security clearance. So when he became a cop in LA, all the cops were like, who are you? You got security clearance way better than our chiefs. And then he became a whistleblower when the CIA was importing drugs into the black communities of LA. And after 1980, towards 1983, that epidemic spread across the country. And he tried to help it, and that's why I got a 6-month notice on 9/11, and he wrote the people. I don't know. An interesting story to review. To find out why I stand where I stand and act crazy all the time. How long is this song? Oh,
Time's up. Thank you. Thank you. And our last poet performer of the evening is our mini feature. And he was here last week and sang a song, and now he's going to be back to sing some more music for us. Cy is here. Thank
you, everybody. I was here last week and actually wanted to do a spoken word rendition of one of my songs. I didn't actually have time to do that, so I'm gonna open the night with, or at least open my spot for the night with that open, that spoken word. So, just a sec. This one's called Photograph. Prospects of a life unaccomplished yet, missing some kind of beauty, causing a loss in time, a sense of guilt, judging a face of multiplying eyes, wishing you were home in a modest bed of lies, trying to find words to place between the cracks, but there's nothing more to say, misunderstood and pressed by the glass when you're caught in a photograph, whispering your heart's intentions on deaf ears, never an honest line, laughing with the fool and washing your hands of my horrifying eyes without any consequence, but I'll still remember your vaguish smile in a photograph. Here we go, now I'm mystified. I've never had to lie or read between the lines, breaking under a truth without them. I can't focus, cause it's gone. I can't focus, cause it's gone. I can't focus. Now I got a couple tunes for you guys. This one's called Overdrive. It's about many nights with the wrong substances. And many nights. This one's called Sanctuary.
My head's in luxury, I know. Whoa, descend cloud nine, entertain us in heaven on the side of the street. Sweet sanctuary, oh sweet sanctuary. Sweet sanctuary, la la la, we're stuck in empty shadow in his eye.
That's it? Aw, dang.
Unfortunately. But do come back.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Come back. Thank you, Si.
Do we have time for one last poet?
We have somebody else who would
I
like to
didn't get a
read?
chance to sign up.
Oh,
It's their first time.
Sure, oh, absolutely. Your name is?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hosting. My name's Eileen. And I'm going to read you a poem called Mission Moon. Cool rush, the iron gate slams. Drop and wash dozes across the street, woozily churning the latest load as I step outside, reeling from sleep's spin cycle. Squinting through the blaring light, I take in the vibrant scene. Lily flowers the size of eucalyptus trees flow across a pink facade, flanked by a ferocious jade-scaled dragon and a sultry amber-eyed Medusa. This could still be a dream, or Alice in Wonderland. The sound of delivery trucks reminds me I'm at 22nd Street. Observations filter through my muddled consciousness, intriguing as small-town newspaper headlines. Pandido is open. La Copa Loca is still closed. Ellie's hair salon is now offering 50% off men's styles. Then wake up. Blink. Sharp yellow flowers sprint up the side of a painted Victorian, their shouting vestments demanding my attention. The rich aromas of piss and jasmine waft into my nose, twirling around one another into one unavoidable scent. Sunlight slants through gaps between elegant houses, revealing daisies in the sidewalk cracks, old paint splatters and cement signatures proclaiming poetically, eat the rich. Broken bottles of Corona nestle next to the geraniums. I meander down the main road, passing fresh melons and avocados at Casa Sanchez. Already 5 men are drilling into the street nearby the spot where koi frolic in the depths of concrete. Their light-hearted revelry reminds me that it's going to be a cherry blossom, trash bag, empty 40, blue hydrangea kind of day. When your eyes alight on mine, a new creation is begun. Once again, the heavens break open, and the first day, the first sky, unfurls from horizon to horizon, all things contained within it. Deep night, clear dawn, soft clouds, heavy rain. The next section of the poem.
Oh, sorry.
That's not me. I read somewhere that God pulled woman from Adam's side. With all respect for artistic license, 6 days for such a skeletal inspiration suggests to me a lack of vision. Eve as an afterthought, you do the master one better. Under your gaze I'm formed in full width of firmaments, as blinding as the sun, as sovereign as the stars, as limitless as the eternal stretch of blue.
Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, one and all. Thanks for a wonderful night of poetry and song. And now we have these wonderful prizes here. As I mentioned, National Geographic, Mozart CD, Cat in the Dark, We Don't Die, World Wildlife, American Archaeology, over Plain Song, and news from Native California, and TV Facts and Trivia. All right, and I will ask Buford here to shuffle the numbers here, and if you signed in, your name should be on the list here. And many people are not here any longer, but all right, we'll give prizes out to those who are here. All right, first up, number 15, Mark Blanchard. Mark, you still here? All right. Way to winner. Oh, I just forget one prize. One prize is the mini feature. The mini feature is 8-minute feature, mini feature at the end of next week's open mic, but you must come next week. It's only good for 1 week.
Really? I can't make it next week, so can I have notes on
You
instead?
certainly can.
Thank you.
Good choice. All right. Next winner will be number 23, Step. Step is the winner. Step here. Step is stepped out. Okay. Next up, number 13, Zach. Zach is the winner. Yes. Yes, fortunately, the first one to go. All right. Next winner is number 12, Nancy. Nancy's the winner. Cat in the Dark. The mystery about cats.
I'll take them. American Archaeology.
All right. Good. All right. Next one, number 3, Owen Dunkel. Wonderful prizes here. Cat in the Dark, We Don't Die, Over Plain Song, National Geographic, news from Native California, and World Wildlife. All right. Next up, number 11, Ed Mike Q. Is that still here? Ed, is that still here? Ed is gone. All right. Next up, number 6, Lewis Martin. Lewis is gone. And next up, number 9, Blake Flaherty. Blake here? Blake is gone. All right. Number 10, Martin Joseph is gone. And then number 7, Stephanie Manning is gone. All right. And we have
Cruising now.
Number 18, Eileen. Eileen is the winner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, first time
Oh,
winner, the winner,
Eileen.
no less.
Come on, Eileen.
We'll get one of these right here. All right. And the next winner is number 4. Number 4 is Christian. Christian here. Christian's gone. All right. Number 24, Minnie. Sai. Sai is the winner. Sai is the winner. The Minnie's feature is still available, everybody. You've already got that, but but you got that. This is what you got today.
Okay.
That was the mini feature. Yeah, you get extra 3 minutes. So that's still available, everybody. No. Well, since you had it this week, then we figured the next week we'll just want to be fair. All right. Okay. And next up, number 8. Number 8, Bruce Fessenden, Bruce's. Yeah?
Yay.
You get one of these, 3, or use the mini features also. You have to be back next week. It's only good for 1 week. All right. Next winner is number 17, Karen Lander Magoon. Is Karen still here?
She left.
Karen is gone. All right. Next is number 16, Richard Morris. Richard is a winner. First time hearing a winner. If you're here next week, you can do the mini feature. Oh well, okay. All right, number 1, there is no number 1. And then number 2, Buford. Mini feature, Buford will be next week's mini. Alright. And then we have our feature, our last prize, our feature, Gerardo Pacheco.
Yay!
California. Alright, and that's the prizes for the evening. That's all. Thank you all so much. Thank our feature, Gerardo Pacheco, our mini feature, Sai. And thank you all very much. Dan Brady will be back next week. And he will be hosting another edition of Open Mic. So have a great week. Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. See you next week.
All right. So what are you doing? Thank you, Greg.
I'm going back
Oh,
home.
you know me, right? You got one for you.
Good to see you though.
Next time.
All right.
The other one, I was like, good job, hosting.
Welcome.
Hey, Bobby,
And
you alright?
hope to see you again.
He's living out here now, so if I can visit him, I will definitely be back.
Oh, good.